Hello, radios. This is Abby Catherine. I wanted to share a dream that the Lord had given me about 2 years ago after I had gotten a prophetic word that was saying that I was one that was called to comfort the Lord's heart, which was really, really, really confusing to me. This God is so big. He's the one, he's the comforter. How can I bring him comfort? And things like that with all these questions that were swirling around. But he gave me this dream. And in this dream, he showed me Satan. And Satan was actually, it was very beautiful. Like in a fallen state where he was not full of light, he was actually dark, but his skin was still beautiful. It was like a flat black, and almost like the skin of a bat, but there was an elegance to it. And in the dream, he had his arms like this, and these wings, these bat-like wings that came around and wrapped and held his arms and hands to his chest. And he was wrapped in rope and hanging completely upside down, completely trapped, entangled, defeated. And his spirit was defeated. You could tell he would just like he'd sigh, and you could just tell that he really didn't have life in him whatsoever. And the Lord was there with me, and he's like, you don't have to get like all worked up. You don't have to yell at him. You don't have to even think bad words. Sometimes you want to be like, you stinking devil, and a few, other words to go along when you're really going through a trial. But he's like, you really don't have to do that. He's already defeated. And it grieves my heart, like when you feel like you have to use those words and get riled up and whatnot against him, because it's really just the simplicity of no, in Jesus' name. And but we were just standing there, and he was just telling me, kind of giving more pictures of like what it was after I would just come over and just whisper to him no, that, whatever demonic else was going on in the atmosphere, that it would stop. He'd call it off. And after that, the Lord said something that really shocked me. And he said, I miss his voice. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I miss his voice. He used to sing to me all the time. He was the top worshiper. And, I know that when I've lost people in the past, I would give about anything to hear their voice again. Even there's been times I lost a friend in June, and there are times that we were together that I have recorded that I've gone through and listened just to take me back to that place because I miss her so dearly. He said, I miss his voice, and I started to understand the depths of that. And my heart began to just hurt for the Lord's loss. And how hard that must have been to have someone that he loved, that he created for glory, and that he chose darkness. And, that he used to know and used to worship, and he fell. And he began to reveal to me the comfort of when we're going through something like that, even if it's someone that's, like let's say it's someone that betrayed us, someone that we used to be really, really close to. And, we're no longer hearing their praise. We're no longer hearing their voice. We're no longer hearing that I love you or anything else. And someone else comes up to you and says, but I still love you. I still see your worth. I still see who you are. I love you. What a comfort that really is. And we're in a time like there's so much chaos going on in the world. So much, and so many people being deceived by the one who betrayed him. And just like that has to cause a lot of heartache, because it's not his will that any should perish. But a lot of people are choosing to perish. And I feel like we really have an awesome opportunity just to come and be like, Lord, I still love you. I'm still here. I still see your worth. I still think you're beautiful. I've come to adore you. I've come just to be with you, Lord, in your presence. We have such an opportunity to comfort the Lord's heart. And also there's the verse that comes to mind. It says, delight yourselves in the Lord and you will have the desires of your heart. Like, obviously it's for peace in our nation and for peace in our families and everything else. When you're delighting in the Lord, your heart automatically starts to line up with his desires. So then those desires become one and the same. But there's something in this season of chaos and everything going on in our nation, of stepping into the simplicity of delighting in him as he brings us the desires of our heart. So the desires of our heart are coming in, we're comforting him, he's comforting us. It's just, there's such a beautiful opportunity to really step in. So I just encourage you today to turn your eyes upon Jesus. Just even if it's just something so simple. The simple words is, I love you. I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord. Like, it's simple, but it carries so much weight. Even just when we close our eyes and we're going up, to be with him and turning our hearts into him, it's still worshiping him. It's still bringing his heart, comfort and making him feel loved and adored. So just keep your eyes on Jesus. Any moment that you can get, just praise his name. It really is going to bring forth a lot of victory and bringing to pass the desires of our heart and the desires of his, because when we delight in him, it's one and the same. So I just bless you. Thank you for listening. Lord, I just ask that you open minds to understand, to open their minds to opportunities to bless your name. As the song says, that something always changes when I bless your name. It's crazy. You know why that always changes? Something always changes because when we bless his name, he's in us. And naturally when we bless him, we're blessing ourselves. Like, is that not amazing? The oneness that we have in him, and the fact that he's such a giving God, that he's not just taking all that blessing upon himself, that he's like, no, it's for everyone. So we bless our name and we get blessed in the process. So Lord, I just ask that you would open up the minds and the hearts to opportunities to just bless your name, even if it's just doing the dishes and it's Jesus, I love you. So Lord, I just ask that your name be glorified. I thank you for our time. Lord, I just ask that you bless these people. I love you guys. Remember that you are God's radio to listen, release, and repeat. Bless you all. Love you. Good night.